Good morning, all of you. Myself Santosh Kumar. I'm assistant professor in SR University. So previously, I also worked in industry, so in especially materials management. Okay, so when you see this topic, production planning control, so it is very important when you are joining any industry. So how to procure any material with required quantity as per the requirement of industrial needs, and obviously keeping more inventory is also a bad effect to any factory. So optimum how much we need to procure and how much we need to keep inventory, and in time how we can give delivery to the shop floor people, means the different departments in the, maybe you take a fabrication or machining or final assembly or dispatch. So how quickly you can give without maintaining so much inventory. So all those things we required a knowledge of production planning and control. Okay, so these are vast words. Okay, so we, when you go in depth, we'll see what are the types of inventory methods, and how quickly we can give in time the raw material to the factory, and how we can keep the forecasting techniques uh, based upon the market price, and with the minimum how we can purchase from the same market in time. So all those things comes under this production planning and control. Okay, so we'll see quickly what are the objectives. So the main objective of this production planning control is to ensure proper utilization of facilities in coordination with different activities, different departments. As I said, when you see any manufacturing factory, okay, I can tell that, okay, once a material comes into raw materials to enter into the factory, okay, so it will goes to initially warehouse. Okay, so here the main important part is have warehouse, how we have to segregate. There are, when you see an MNC company, there are thousands of raw material. Okay, so the thousands of raw material required uh, to assemble any motor or generator or any automobile vehicle. Okay, so the main focusing here is to categorize raw material and to the different departments, and final end effect will be like a final a product. That product may be uh, a motor or generator or any vehicle or something. Okay, so this is a general a simple way of representation of moving of raw material from one place to another place inside the factory. So main objective is the how to utilize the things in effectively in time. So in mainly when you see any factory, some factories are uh, this, the architecture of this uh, placement of departments will be sometimes in straight line, sometimes in U shape, sometimes in L shape. Means the raw material comes here, end product goes from here. In between there are many departments involved. When you see some other departments, like some other companies, like they do optimization of space. Okay, instead of making this kind of L shape and straight line, they use this kind of U shapes. Okay, so most of the companies I saw this, they use this kind of shape of line assemblies. Okay, so next thing is to maintain adequate and but not an excessive stock of raw material for the process and finished goods. Okay, so one more thing I told this in initial slide. So we should not maintain any excessive stock. That is very important. Example, you have a factory this with the same example, and in this factory, okay, there is only one warehouse. Generally they used to keep, assume that this is the complete factory. Okay, then most of the time the warehouse and the quality department will be in center of the factory, because this is the center hub for every department. Example, your uh, fabrication section, maybe a machining, or maybe a sorry, maybe uh, a assembly of or sub assemblies, or here some testing, here maybe final assembly, and here dispatch section. So these are the different departments inside any factory. We can see irrespective of your product, maybe a motor or generator factory, or any automobile factory. This is the common architecture, but the common thing for every uh, connectivity of department is, that is your warehouse, because to do any operation we required the coordination from warehouse to bring the material from warehouse to fabrication and machining and sub assembly and testing and final assembly of any product and dispatch. So this is the main center of requirement for every department. So when you have this much requirement from warehouse, so there is a huge stock we need to keep inside the factory, because to we should not stop any department activity. Okay, so that's how the warehouse is very important. And but the material comes to warehouse from based upon one department called purchase, or sometimes we call technical purchase team. There is a team, they used to handle the requirement of each department by using MRP control. It will rise, and this MRP control gives the requirement of materials what we require day-to-day basis, and that requirement will comes from each department to purchase department. Okay, so then purchase department will verify the things, whether it can be manufactured inside, or we don't have any facility, then they will send the material requirement to the outside buyer from the suppliers. Okay, okay, sometimes they want to buy some direct product from supplier, they procure. If they want to purchase, do some machining operation, these comes under subcontracting. So through subcontracting they verify uh, what is the requirement of any machining, or if they require some kind of welding, they do outside and they bring it to again to the factory wherever they require. So once it's received a direct product or sub assembly products, so again they have to bring it to the warehouse, they have to do invoicing, and after that it will enter into their inside softwares like SAP or some other softwares, and then they will dispatch to different departments. So during this process, so this is very essential that the stacking of raw material, it is very very important. Okay, so they should not keep so much stock of the raw material inside the factory, unless otherwise it leads to a loss to the company. Obviously they have to meet the major thing is that is they have to meet production requirement. So they have to keep certain inventory that if any urgent requirement comes, so they should warehouse people should give uh, fulfill the requirement of that particular need of particular departments. So this is a very important. So these are the objectives I explained based upon the uh, maybe my experience from last 5 years. So not only that, we have to give planned delivery schedule at most economical level. Okay, so this is a very very crucial thing, especially the countries like they don't have proper suppliers in some of the countries. So in that case, the company get generally the delivery of very not particular schedules. So instead of getting the uh, as per the material based upon the lead time, they are getting uh, delays in raw material fine finishing goods or raw material delivery. So it leads to delay in the final assembly of any product. So that's why the main target we have to when you are planning any production plan. So this is a very important role we need to fulfill. And next thing is establishing targets and checking it against performance. Okay, so every company have certain targets. Like generally most of the companies they make uh, in their meetings, especially in the weekends. Okay, so they keep the meetings with the Gantt chart. What is Gantt chart? Gantt chart is a simply I can say that the follow up of some of the projects. What is the status? Example, the project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4. Okay, and they have a deadlines like Jan, February, then March, and so on. Okay, then they see the targets of the particular project, whether it get fulfilled in the January month or not. So during this meeting, generally they call in all the departments in charges. I can say they call different department managers, including monitoring with CEO, Chief Operating Officers, and all will discuss about uh, what is the delay of that particular project, why it is not being done in particular month. Example, the project 3 should complete in by March, like this, but it is not delivered the March, and it is being manufactured. So during that time they ask, they verify the why is the particular project not achieve the targets, and what are the issues behind whether it is a delay from materials or whether it is delay from uh, interdepartment works, everything they discuss, and they take immediate action plan for these particular things. The next one is provide alternative production strategies in case emergencies. So one of the best experience I got, there is some kind of sudden surprises. So that's why I'm making the start. So when we delivering any, we got some similar kind of issue. So during the like before COVID, there is a urgent requirement we got from one of the company. So they have some issue in factory, and they don't want to stop their manufacturing facility long time. So they gave generally to manufacture any motor, it will take lead time of uh, I can say it is 3 months, uh, 3 to 4 months. So during that time we got an order that and we have to deliver in 2 months maximum. So this is a big crucial role. So with the existing projects we have to manage, and we have to give in only in Feb. So even though the lead time is very less, so we have to make some alternative strategies like that during that time. So to achieve this, generally we used to do all manufacturing of every product in house. All those things, like all those things we used to do in-house manufacturing. So due to urgent requirement to fulfill the requirement of particular project, what we did, we made alternative arrangement like subcontracting and some other material brought from other uh, um, branches we have. And that's how there is a uh, fulfilling the requirement of this short lead time period projects. So that's how the alternative production strategies are very important during some urgent cases. Okay. And next thing is objective is like ensure production of right product in right quality at the right time. Even though we made lead time very short lead time period, we make manufacturing of that particular product. So what we made alternative to ensure the quality of the product, we made a departmental quality checkup. In general, uh, there is a quality department will be placed in middle of the factory. So as I told, there are many departments associated with this. So once they made any product, sub semi product, they get it verified with quality people, and they will get move to this product from one place to another place. So to make this, there is a separate lead time is required to get verified from this place to another place, because there are another projects also in lineup with to verify the quality checkup. Okay. So during that time, the strategy we followed, we hired some excess quality people who can do for us quality checkup very quickly. So we made an alternative strategy to achieve the better quality of every product, even though it is in emergency cases. So what we did, we have hired some of the quality expert from outside, uh, apart from our internal quality, and this also helped us to achieve shorter lead time projects. So what is the outcome of this production planning control? So first thing is design and plan an economical production system. Second, learn about effective utilization of plant resources and provide alternative production strategies. And the fourth one is guide shop floor people for manufacturing products for required quality and required quality in right time. And both it is very important, quantity and quality at the right time. And those who want to refer the books, these are the best books I can say to know about more in production planning and control. So once we see the introduction, production is the process by which goods or services are created. So any product or any manufacturing factories, so either may be a automobile, maybe a medicine like pharma factories, or maybe a companies like Boeing. Okay, maybe they manufacture a flights, maybe they manufacture a medicine, or they manufacture a car. Okay, so all they are, what they are doing is a production of any some kind of products or goods, and maybe a services. To the outcome will be a production. This production also can be also defined as a means of converting raw material into finished products by performing a set of manufacturing operations in a predetermined sequence that transform material from a given to desired form. So to give the brief note of this, it's very simple. Small example, to as a mechanical engineer, I can say to manufacture any motor. What we required when we see motor, generally we can see the outer part, that is iron. Okay, and what extra we see some electrical wiring and some sensors, some switches, all those is required. So, so what I mean to say that this raw material is very much required in initial stage with good quantity and quality, and to make any finished product, to perform any manufacturing operations, like to convert from this raw material to a finished product, it should go to certain department, like here it should cut, and after that it should go to machining, then after that it should go to quality inspection. Obviously the quality is required in every part. Then it should go to as final part assembly, then final assembly, then dispatch. So this, when you do this final, that is like finished products as per the desired outcome. So what is we are seeing, the raw material is transforming one shape to another shape by making its original forms, like from raw material to semi-finished to part assembly, and part assembly to a final assembly product. So the form is like your product. So the transformation may be done in one or in a combination of following ways. So the transformation by disintegrating, having essentially for on integrating as input and producing several outputs. Example, making components from standardized materials on machine tools, rolling steel bars from cast ingots, making components by smithy or forging. The examples like producing emissions, you can see this. You can take the example of any automobile or a pharma, maybe a motors or generators, even a bicycle manufacturing, anything. Then maybe household appliances, like which is required, like from starting from your electricity, whatever things required for household appliances, and maybe automobiles are required, transform, like any electrical or radio television devices. So this transformation by services or by virtually no change the product object under consideration is perceptible, but where certain operation may be performed to change one parameters with define the object. Example that the sizing, coining and press work, servicing and light repairs of automobiles, maybe a loading or unloading of trucks, or a transportation from one place to another place, which gives utilities. Then as of now we have seen what is production, how the production goes from raw material, how it is transformed from raw material, and how it is changing its form from raw material to a different sort of shapes, like part assembly and so on, and reaching to a product. So the complete production we have seen. Now we'll see the, as of now there is no planning word we discussed, because the planning is very much required. Why it is required means, so to meet requirement of a company department needs, and not to maintain inventory more than our requirement. Third, keep the material for the emergency purpose. Okay, so we have to consider all those three things during the planning. So that's why with the production important, and also planning is utmost important. Otherwise the company may invest so much amount in raw material to keep the material in warehouse. In case suddenly the technology may change, those material cannot be used to particular upgraded versions of products. So finally the material will be in warehouse, that may be a scrap the finally. So to avoid all this unavoidable situations, so planning is very much important. So now that's how we'll see the second part. Important topic is that planning. So as you see in the first slide, our topic is production, planning and control. So production part we have seen. Now we'll see the planning part. Okay, so what is planning here when I consider about the factory? Okay, the planning means preparing the scheme in advance before the actual work is started. So this is very important, before the actual work is started. So you know this how company will start initially. Example, the company want to start their manufacturing facilities. Example, now 2025 they are going to start, means they maybe from Jan, but the period they take to establish their facility and so on, we called greenfield projects. Means before starting any production from the factory, the initial time they take to establishing the uh, uh, factory needs and hiring the people and so on. So all those things minimum they required 1 to 2 years of time when they before they enter into the actual production system. So that's why the actual work is started. So the planning will be done at least a minimum 1 or 2 years prior to the factory production of the starting of any product. So that's how planning will work. So during this planning they do so much analysis, so that we'll see upcoming slide, like how to do planning for maybe for 20 years, maybe for 50 years, and what kind of layout they have to consider to for this factory, maybe a U shape or straight line or some kind of this kind of shape. So this all those things they verify, and not only structure wise, they also see uh, software wise, like when you see some kind of uh, softwares like SAP. Okay, SAP is a important element software tool. uh, it is just replicate the factory, whatever the things going to happen in the factory after starting the productions. They verify each and every uh, system, and they they will make all the arrangements such a way that if something is required from one department to another department, a person can should not go to physically to ask something. So they make everything arrangement by using SAP system. So that's how this is also generally they uh, design the software in greenfield project time. So before the starting of the production, so they also verify, and they immediately uh, do some trial methods before implementing uh, into factory. So what I mean to say, the initials any company, so they also verify physically the company, how they are going to start, even layout wise and also in technical wise, both the things they verify, and then they will implement into uh, bring into any factory into reality. Then next one is, it may also define the predetermination of future achievement to meet the desired objectives. So this is very important, like before implementing, as I said, um, actual production. So they verify in many times that how things going to happen, everything they will verify, they simulate, they test, and if there any error or something like that they observe, then they again remodify the design, change the programming and so on, and they give the proper planning before they executing any plan into reality. So planning begins with the analysis of the given data, on the basis of which scheme for the utilization of the firm's resources can be outlined, so that desired target may be most uh, efficiently attained. So So before starting production, it is necessary to decide in advance what procedure, how much to produce, where to produce, and where to sell. So this is it's a very important note. Example, you want to make uh, a certain product to the certain customer. Okay, so we need to decide in advance to targeting this customer, whether company is having the raw material availability from this place. Example, you are in India. Okay, then we require maybe a urgent requirements of some kind of insulation materials, yeah, as we know, the country more into depend agriculture, so we required to move water from one place to another place. We required motors, and high-end motors required many parts, especially insulation material, bearings, and iron, and so on. But as you see, the India having the lesser raw material facility of insulation material, especially H class materials. Okay, so this is very important material component in respective of price and quality. Okay, so most of the companies, what they do, uh, they do verify the availability of raw material in the country, and according to that they manufacture by utilizing the raw material from the same place in the country, and they just do transform the shape or quality or properties of material, and they use in their product, and they send to final product. Some companies, they don't do plan properly, and due to that, what they do, they start immediately one factory, and by seeing the customer. But when they start, they understood that the material which is required to fabricate or manufacture that product, the raw material is not available in that particular country. So due to that, what will happen, the raw material they have to import from another country. So for that, this company has to pay so much customs charges, and this is directly effect on product cost. This almost uh, 10 to 12 percentage transportation cost they have to uh, apply on their final product, instead of uh, making materials from in-house or inside the country. If they if they import any material, this is huge uh, loss for any company. So that's why we have to decide in advance what to produce, how much to produce, where to produce, and where to sell, and whether raw material is available in particular country, and if the raw material is uh, not available, then what is the minimum transportation cost is they can spend to produce the material from that country. uh, they can bring from that countries. The all thing is optimized way they have to think, and they have to start. So the production planning is the predetermined of future achievement in a type of product, volume of production, quality, time, price in manufacture, and the resource required. It also analyzes all problems like to arise in the manufacture, and decide in advance how these difficulties can overcome. As I said, many issues we have uh, may come, okay, especially during fabrication of product. Maybe I will tell some example, like example, to start any product, we required initial design, then design goes to fabrication. The fabrication completed, then maybe goes to any part assembly. So who gives the drawing to uh, the designer? This may be a customer. As per the customer requirement, designer will design the product, maybe some software by using that, Then before starting that fabrication from the design, there is a inter department will handle all those manufacturing facilities. Okay, so that is PPC. This is our main topic here, that is production planning and control. So most of the MNC company, they have this department, production planning control. So what is the role of this PPC in the factory? Most of the MNCs having this. So any material has to start their fabrication. It doesn't start immediately from the shop floor. So they required some instruction from certified department, that is PPC. Okay, so what PPC does? PPC having different roles. Okay, so planning, forecasting, and when the product requirement to the customer, all those things they verify and they start to do action plan. So every day the material which they have to start fabrication or machining in the shop floor. Generally shop floor in a, you can understand that higher machineries, it will be in ground floor. Okay, and PPC will always be with a design. When the design is completed, the PPC will see today which project is at most important, so that they understand and they collect the drawings from design, and with the quantity how much they have to make, the information PPC will give to this shop floor. Shop floor will start the fabrication, then they will give the outcome to the next department, maybe a part assembly. Okay, so sometimes what will happen, the difficulties I'm telling, because you can see the our slide last uh, line, difficulties overcome. So the one of the experience we have that sometimes the designer is forget to mention the version, what happened in changes in version 1 and version 2 or version 3. Okay, so suddenly the designer is forget to pass the information of version 2 drawing changes to the PPC. PPC will send previous version 1 design to fabrication. The fabrication will get complete, but when it goes to part assembly having the version 2 drawing, but fabrication department they made part drawing with version 1. So during this situation, so part will get reject here, and it will not goes to next assemblies, and finally the lead time, as per the lead time, product will not get accept, means dispatch. So this is the major difficulty some of the companies are still facing, that is version drawing version alerts. So due to lagging of this knowing the new version drawings, so there is a transparency missing here, or communications are missing here, or maybe I can say some of the software still need to improve this part, so that the material rejection will get minimized in different departments. So in during these situations we have to overcome by adopting some other new technologies can be incorporated, so that this problem will get resolved. So we have seen, we have discussed as of now production and planning, how to do planning to overcome any issues, sudden surprises from factory side or the customer side. Now the control. Okay, the here you can see, so controlling is made by comparing the actual performance with the present standard plan, and deviations are analyzed. Each also control mechanism all responsible for subsequently adjusting, modifying and redefining plans and targets in order to ensure attainment of pre-specified production goals in the most efficient and effective manner. So we'll see now the actual definition of PPC, because we, as of now, we have seen the how production planning control will practically will get happen. Issues will get what sudden issues will arise, how to overcome with another strategies, all the things we discussed. Now we'll see the main part, that is definition of PPC. Production planning and control may be defined as the direction and coordination of the firm's material and physical facilities towards the attainment of pre-specified production goals in the most efficient and economical manner. According to Samuel Elian, the highest efficiency in production is obtained by manufacturing the required quantity of the product, the required quality at the required time, by the best and cheapest method. According to Charles, the production planning and control may be defined as the coordination of series of functions according to a plan which will economically utilize the plant facility and regulate the order movement of goods during the entire manufacturing cycle, from the procurement of small materials to the shipping of finished goods at the predetermined date. Hence, in simple words, PPC means a complete plan, a follow procedure, and determining how closely the plans are being followed, a means of regulate of mechanism to meet requirements with the proposed plans, a procedure to employ right quantity and right type of personnel at the right place. Okay, so these three is very important. Until unless these you can't follow, then you can't achieve the right finished product in time. Every product or project having different plans, as I said here, and the follow up procedure maybe you follow with different forms of techniques. Like some people they use the Gantt charts, some people they use some another follow up charts to verify in intermediate level the things are going well or not. They will verify. So what are the main objectives of PPC? Okay, there are 4 M's in the production. One is men, material, missions, and methods. So these 4 are very essential things. Without these 4, the company can't give proper product from the production. So to execute the proper plan, many required, and material is required. When the low cost material will give the better profits to the company, and the missions, until unless you don't have missions to transform raw material to a semi-finished product or final product, it is very difficult. That's why this missions are very important. Then method, when you have all those things but you don't have the method how to execute, how quickly you have to finish the goods, and what strategy you have to minimize the cost, don't have these kind of methods, then the objective will not fulfill. So that's why the 4M is very important. So production planning control, the system integrates and coordinates the manpower, machines, materials, and efficient production plans to meet the finally sales requirement. But the major objectives are to design a system, a plan by which production may be carried out with a view to meet a promised delivery date consistent with the minimum cost and quantity, quality and standards. Obviously, to ensure efficient utilization of production facilities and to coordinate production activities of different departments. Also, some of the main key objectives to maintain adequate but not excessive stock, the raw materials, and work in process and finished goods to meet production requirement delivery schedules at the most economical level, and to ensure production of right product in right quality at the right time, and to maintain flexibility in manufacturing process operations, and to accommodate the trust jobs or to meet contingencies, and to coordinate labor, machine, equipment in the most effective and economic manner, ensuring smooth of materials by eliminating bottlenecks if any in the productions. As I told, in if something goes wrong, maybe from design side or maybe a sudden issues in shop floor machinery, so there may be a sudden bottlenecks will arise. So during that time, what are the types of strategy we have to run smooth flow of production facilities and so on, and establishing these targets and checking it against performance. Also to provide alternative production strategy in case of any emergencies, to determine the nature and magnitude of various input factors to manufacture the desired output. In short, PPC regulates and controls how, where, and when work is to be done. So, what are the functions of production planning control? Various functions in the production planning control that can be classified in three generally. So, that is your planning phase, action phase, and follow up and control. We will see this elaborately. So, planning phase. So, every production in every any factory they want to start, initially the planning is required. So what kind of planning? Maybe initially, as I told, the greenfield projects, the prior planning is required, and during that time they forecast. So what will be the sales can be estimated from the factory after starting. So then they started to write order writing, and then they started product design. Okay, so these three is very important things before starting physical manufacturing of any product. Then action planning. Action planning, as I told, this process planning and routing is very important. Material control, the tool control, the loading and scheduling. So as you can see, these three, where we can see in factory any before starting of manufacturing facilities in terms of planning on non-technical much. When it comes to this planning, what I observed, It's more into planning with technical aspects. Means if I started any production plan with certain layout, okay, so how material has to move from one place to another place. If I move this material in such a line, so what is the lead time I am achieving, or any delays I am facing, all those things they verify. During that time they simulate the system, exactly replica of physical model. If they think that these two is to be changed from this to here, then it will come here, it will go here, then it goes here, because maybe this machine is more requirement of uh, with both department, so they try to bring it in, keep it in middle of the factory and they can utilize. So these kind of simulation things they do here, and loading and loading and the scheduling, all those things they verify before starting off any uh, physical systems. And then action phase, this is very important. This is also comes under here, dispatching from one department to another department. It is not sending material, finished goods to outside the factory. It is the dispatching of uh, any semi finished product from one place to another place inside the factory based upon the requirement. And once any product they finish semi finished goods, then they have to move to the next, for the next operations, maybe uh, to complete the requirement of a particular operation. Then after that, third phase is control phase. Here we can see the progress reporting, the data collection and data interpretation is very important. And in the corrective action, here we can have the expediting and replanning. So here they see by executing this, what kind of changes can be done, what kind of control actions can be taken to minimize the lead time and improve the production of the particular product. All those things they verify in control phase, in progress reporting and corrective actions. And this is how the PPC will help in many companies till now to minimize the inventory cost, to achieve requirements of company needs and so on. Okay, thank you.